Good morning. I've missed it. I'm not even gonna lie. I've missed it. Hey yo, and welcome back to the sixth official episode of Winter Wonders. It's been 2 weeks, and I have missed y'all. I have missed recording. I've missed almost every bit of it. The reason why I say almost is, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes there's some frustrating parts of so this is what I'm struggling with right now. I have an iPhone, and anybody who owns an iPhone, storage is awful. I'm honestly so proud that I used the word awful instead of any other word that I could have used to describe it, because it's not good. And here's the thing, I already pay the that's a lot. The 99 cents a month, for the extra storage. But here lately, I've gotten to the point that I can't even take daily basis videos of just me doing my normal stuff without every 2 days getting hey, your phone has too much storage and everything. So it's really been a work in process of that, but we've got it narrowed down, and I'm just so lucky to be back, and I'm lucky to be keeping this habit going. So we are officially here on episode 6. This episode is called Weird Winter. Now, the reason why it's Weird Winter, number one, I love owning it. So shout out to Stacy Saveska. She was my first ever principal down in Texas or whatnot. And she always did this icebreaker. That's what they call them in education. It's how you get to know people. And you had to find a describing word that started with the same letter as your name. So my name starts with a W, and I could have done wonderful or, other willing or... I don't know a lot of, I'm not an English teacher. I don't know a lot of describing words, but I always say weird, and I don't mean that in a negative way. So if you're like, Winter, stop hopping on or harping, not hopping. I ain't the Energizer Bunny. That ain't how any of this works. But if you're like, dude, stop harping on yourself, I'm not. I am 1,000%. Number one, I am a nerd. Anything, especially when it comes to science. I am not a book nerd. I'm not a bookworm type of person. If you do find me in Barnes and Nobles, I am most likely in the music section, or honestly, the nonfiction. So I was talking to a coworker the other day about this, shout out Alejandro Sanchez, and we were explaining the fact that Kaylee is a huge reader. She's an English teacher, on top of the fact that she reads books all the time. And I was telling him, I was like, dude, I don't read. I can't tell you the last time I read a book. And genuinely, that is a lie. I actually remember oh my goodness, the major trip that me and Kaylee realized we were going to move. It was really, really cool. I guess it's because we're two teachers, and, we had an abundance amount of time, driving time. But we were coming out of Yellowstone, just came through and saw the Tetons and all that other stuff. And now we're driving from the north part of Wyoming, and we're going all the way down into Denver, the north side of Colorado. Wow. The north side of Denver, Colorado, and near Fort Collins and stuff like that. So on that north side, driving that entire way, and it was midday, whatever, and we listened to our music. We've listened to a couple podcasts. So at this point, we're okay, well, what else are we going to do? So we had a book with us, and I was like, you know what? I'll read it to you. I have no problem. So get this, literally the entire time, I was the basically the I don't know what is that occupation when you read books? Audio listener. What would that be called? Are you I don't know. That's too big a math. I can't do all those words right now. But I really want to know, number one, how much do you get paid just to have a good voice and to read books out loud? Because imagine getting up and being okay, this is what I'm doing, setting myself up, and now I got to read this book. I bet that's cool job. I wonder if it pays a lot. That's a very good question. Very good question. I'm gonna see just like that. I would probably, at this point, I would get on my phone if it was not recording me. I would go up, number one, I'd figure out what their name is occupation-wise, what that's called, so I wouldn't just be sitting here saying that it's an occupation over and over again. Secondly, I would find out how much they made, and I'd probably find a reliable resource, and if it's an article or whatever, I'd probably spend the next 30 minutes lost on this rabbit hole of figuring out how much they get paid, the certifications that it does, all the different things. And then it's really, really funny, Anyways, so that's the last time I read a book. Welcome to Weird Winter. If you cannot handle ADHD and craziness, please turn the volume all the way down and just let it kind of finish playing all the way through, because I'm really, really bad about the fact that, like, this is guaranteed going to be a very, very chaotic episode, because if anything, for the people who are listening, I apologize, but for all the people watching, whether that's YouTube or Spotify, I actually was able to figure out how to get it to show on Spotify. This is my script and my notes. It is one singular, I'd say a little bit bigger than the size of my hand, notepad, and it's not even, I'd say 3/4 of it's filled up, right? And that's truly because, like, the first beginning part, it says organic, be true to myself, be relatable, be growing. And that's because I want to show you a different part of me that I haven't shown. Now, the reason why I say that is because there's 3 main topics that I don't want to talk about today. Number 1, I don't want to talk about teaching. I don't mind if it gets brought up, but I don't want any purpose. Like, there's already been a couple videos. I think I've said it each and every single time. We get it. We get it. It's okay, right? Secondly, I don't want to talk about real estate. Like, there's videos that are 100% dedicated to real estate, and I love what I do. I love my career, but not today. And not the fact that I don't love it. I just don't want to talk about it today. And last but not least, I feel like every conversation I have, like, with especially a lot of people up here, because they either hear me say yes ma'am, or they hear me say y'all 17 and a half times, and they're like, well, you're not from these parts, are ya? No, so we're not talking about the fact that I am a Texan that moved to Idaho, but I don't mind talking about Texas. I don't mind talking about Idaho. I just don't want to have and relive that same story over and over again. So, Weird Winter, episode 6 coming at you. Wow. Secondly, if I'm true to myself and I am actually who I am, you get kind of a better glimpse at everything and all the potentials that this podcast can be, because yeah, I don't mind having random teaching moments where I get to tell you some of the horrific stories. And I don't mind having real estate videos where especially I can use them, like, for my social media and really help people, like, actually grow and learn how to handle real estate, especially in their adult lives. But I want to show you that there's a lot of in-betweens. And hi, that's me. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Winter. I'm shaking my hand up in the air right now if you're listening. I hope if you're in car, at home, watching I don't even know what you're doing. I just hope you metaphorically, I don't even want to metaphor. Put your hand up. Shake me back. Shake me back. Okay, we just shook on it. That's sick. Awesome. So with that being said, if I'm Weird Winter, number 1, I'm not being scripted on this one, so I'm just letting the ideas flow, which is cool, because you are probably about, 8, 7, 9, 10 minutes into this of like, wait, is there a topic? No! There's not, and that's a good thing. That's okay. It's okay to be chaotic. It's okay to have those crazy moments, and it's okay to let yourself go a couple times. So, Weird Winter. What else would we talk about other than winter and being weird? So, what I did write instead of a script, I literally wrote my favorite things, and I was like, yeah, you're ADHD. Like, there's not a single thing that you won't. Like, it was funny. I was writing down favorite color, and then I was like, green, and then I was like, oh, now I could talk about that, and then that, and literally 7, like, little branch. I'm like a tree, bro. I am like a tree. I start here and then I just branch off. That's how my brain works. But then again, I've also talked to other people, ADHD wise. Tell me if you feel the same. My brain is kind of like a roundabout, but it's not just, so if the average normal Joe has like one roundabout that has like 4 entrances, so it used to be a straight up stop sign like intersection, but now it's a roundabout. That's the average Joe. Congratulations. I wish. If you've ever seen the roundabout in France, man, I'm talking like you got 10 different streets coming in. It's just a constant, meow, 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 meow. Bro, that's my brain, dude. 24/7, every single day, every day when I wake up, it's just like this, that, this, that. And then like, it only makes it worse because the longer I go through the day, the more traffic, oh my goodness. The more traffic that gets there, the more traffic gets there, the more I get chaotic. And then by the end of the day, my goodness gracious, like, bro, after 5 p.m. traffic, I'm done for. No, that makes so much, wow. Analogies, dude, they're crazy. Let's get started. So at least you learned something about me today. So number 1, my favorite color is green. The The only other time, okay, so this is gonna sound corny and it's gonna sound gross and I hate it. But like growing up, like I don't know, maybe it was my day and age, but like there was the cliques and I was in the cowboy western country fried clique, if that kind of makes sense. I kind of hit all different because I don't know, I believe if anything country cliques, there's multiple country cliques, like there's a lot of different country fried people out there. Like there is a difference between a Yellowstone ranch hand who like deals with cattle every day and someone who lives in Louisiana and fishes and hunts for their daily dinner. You know what I'm saying? Like two totally different types of country and stuff like that. So I used to say growing up, my favorite color was camo. And to be honest with you, it was never the actual color of camo. It was still from a scientific perspective because they were like, well, what type of camo you like? It's not that. I like the fact of like camouflage, like being able to blend in. Like that is my favorite color. It's so cool. Fun fact of the day, scientifical fun fact of the day, because I love throwing these in here. Did you know? Number one, I secretly believe that they're aliens, but that's a different podcast. Did you know that octopus, number one, best camouflagers out there. They're the best in the world, literally any surface, and it's not just like a color. They can even like change the, like they look like textures, right? Bro, they're colorblind. Bro, so if you're not watching, I'm literally drastically doing stuff with my hands and my facial because like excuse me? What do you mean? How can you be colorblind, but then be the best camouflager? Like, how do you know what that color is? And then, don't get me wrong, scientifically, like, there's a way that you can break this down, and I'm not gonna let you do it because I hope I blow your mind, and you're gonna go do the research for yourself because that's how teachers truly like get their students hooked. But we're not talking about teaching. But there's other ways, you know, like we got texture and feel, like heightened senses of other due to the fact that you're lacking one, but still. How do you know it's that perfect shade of green? Like, let's say the texture and this and all of that the exact same, but you got like just a smidge off of different textures of green. How do you know that? How do you do so well at that? So like let that ponder in your brain for a little bit. But anyway, so green is my favorite color. Favorite game. I think people are gonna come at me for this, so I'm gonna start with the OG so you can't come at me. I love Uno. Uno since day one and phase 10, they go hand in hand, man. They're just easy, they're accessible, they're cheap, they're great. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about Monopoly. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. You're like, winner, it's such a long game. There's so many pieces. Okay, now hear me out. If I have the time and I have the mental mindset and I have everything that I need, I will actually sit down and play the board game. It's not that bad. And I truly, honestly enjoy the electric banker. Don't get me wrong. Or electric banker. The technology where like you can keep up with your bank and oh my, electric banker, bro. Do you plug your banker into the outlet too? Oh, this is gonna be fun. I can't even edit this. What am I gonna edit? Everything that I would want to edit would be the whole video. Because I'd be like, well, that was irrelevant. So I hope you're enjoying yourself, at least at this point. But Monopoly actually came out with a new deck of cards, and it's very similar in the fact of like Uno or Phase 10, like you only like use a deck of cards to play, but it's every bit of the drama and this like suspicion. Oh my Lanta. I really got to get my life together with my words. But it's every bit of the Monopoly game, but it simplifies it so very much, and it's so very addicting. I love it. If you want any information, let me know. I'd love to play with you. Okay, my favorite sport, I'm not going to talk about this long because I'm not going to get harped on, and a lot of people don't like sports, and I'm coming. Okay, so I'm going to say this truthfully, and I know we said we wouldn't talk about Texas or Idaho, but number one, if you didn't know this, Idaho has no national sports teams whatsoever. The biggest sport team that they have is straight up Boise State, and it's a college team. So it's technically like, it's honestly a university, and sometimes they're good enough that you can actually hear and possibly see them on the TV. And I don't mean that to any Idahoan, but I am coming from the state of Texas where Friday Night Lights is the biggest, baddest thing. Like that, like if you didn't go to Friday night football games, like what are you doing, man? That's what you did Friday. Like, that's what I did almost my entire childhood. Is like Friday night, you did whatever you could, and you went out to the like football game. But so with that being said, I've learned with no national sports teams, nothing like that, there's a whole lot of people that aren't into sports. And you know what? This makes so much sense. They're into more like outdoor activities. Like I've met so many more like skiers, snowboarders, you name it, like, or like even hikers, like people who truly like I've met more people that truly love to climb the Tetons versus any type of NFL, NHL, NBL, like any of it, right? MLB. At that point, I don't even know how we got lost in the sauce of that one. But favorite sport-wise, I'm still a huge football fan. I am. Oh yeah. We were talking about Idaho. So yeah, not a lot of people have this big interest in sports. They'd still like. I've had more conversations about hikes and going to do things in Idaho than I ever. Like I feel bad, but I'm slowly losing like my love and passion for like a lot of like sports. Like this last year we did the fantasy with like our friend group and stuff like that, and I stayed it like I've never not had a fantasy where I don't check in and I'm not addicted to it every week, and I know all the players and I know their stats. And I want to say like week 6 wise, I completely fell off the horse. Like I'm getting to the point like, I don't know, I'd rather talk about that one cool place up in the mountains or where y'all secretly go to pick your huckleberries that y'all won't let me know about. But anyways, so I do enjoy football. My favorite team is the Cowboys, and I'm going to say the quote that I tell everyone and their mama. I'm a good Cowboys fan. I do know the date, the last time that we went to the Super Bowl. I do know and have my own opinions about why. Jerry Jones. And stuff like that. So I get, there's no even reason to come at me. Like I can come at myself. It's like the Eminem, like the real Slim Shady part where he's rap battling, and he literally, the entire time he raps, he talks about all the mess. Like, homie, I can do that. You don't need to point it out. I know. I'm a Cowboys fan, but anywho, so favorite movie, I find this hilarious because over the years I've realized my favorite movies are about these like really, really bad, like actual natural, either it's happened or something like that. So number 1, Titanic. I love it. I've always loved it. It is an absolutely fantastic movie, but it's literally about a, I wouldn't call it a massacre. No one did it purposely, or, anyways, that one's always up to speculation, but like, it's not a good thing. People die, right? Second one, Twister, right? I'm talking the OG with Bill Paxton, everything, Helen Hunt. Like, I can quote that movie to you. I grew up on it. I absolutely love it. But once again, like, people die. It's not a good thing. And then my last one, this is actually a newer movie that like completely has rocked my socks off, and that's, I think I have just an absolute love and respect for it, but it's Bohemian Rhapsody. I love the way that they were able to portray Freddie Mercury's life and truly kind of give a background and be able to show that off and still show the absolute essence that is Freddie Mercury and all of his talents and all of his capabilities. So I genuinely love that movie so much. Okay, we're down to the last 2. So favorite candy. So number 1, I'm not a gummy person. Gummies weird. Like people are like, oh my goodness, I love gummy bears, and I'm like, why? You're chewing on something that feels like a sweet artificial flavoring of gummy plastic, like, and that's what it is. Like your body, like it's just chemicals and a plant, and then they I don't like the way it feels in my teeth. I have a big teeth thing. I don't like when they're dirty. I don't like when things get in it. So you know how gummies can either get in the little grooves on the side or in the I'm not a gummy person. So like as a teacher, they always had like a list where you'd put all your favorite things, and it was funny. I always put like beef jerky because I've never been like a gummy person. But like Starburst, Skittles are fantastic. I'm not really picky when it comes to that. Sugar, I'll eat it. But if it's artificial, like jerky is jerky, and like Starburst is, I don't know, I would say it's still similar in texture. Ooh, Nick, this man. No, I did it earlier. He was like, hey, FaceTime me real quick. And I started doing it, and literally as soon as I pushed it, it started doing that over there. And I was like, are you here right now, bro? Like, Anyways, yeah, so I'm not gonna come out Starburst, and I don't know their actual like ingredient list, so I'm not gonna come at it. But it's just, I don't know, it's not my favorite. But then again, see, it goes back to the main thing, like sugar wise. If I'm gonna eat sugar, I think it goes back, like, give me a dessert, man. Give me like a piece of pie. Like, if I'm gonna eat the sugar and feel bad and go through all the processes of New Year, New Me, like, make it work. Dude, or a zebra cake, like Little Debbie's, bro. They hit different, like a ding dong, a zinger, a Twinkie. Oh, my Lanta. My dad, shout out to my dad. He literally told me the other day to go try like the banana Twinkie, and I was like, oh, my Lanta. So maybe that's where I get it from. Makes sense. Okay, so the last one. So favorite car. I'm not gonna go into details when it comes to that because I have so many, and I will waste 30 minutes talking about cars. So I will go ahead and just tell you, like, for me to be the happiest go lucky, completely satisfied, I want 3 vehicles, okay? I want a F-250. Please don't come at me. I understand, like, found on road dead, Chevrolet, Dodge. It's a big battle war. It's been there since forever, and it's a battle that, like, I don't even care about anymore. But anyways, F-250, especially the newer ones. I would prefer 7.3, but I always will take a 6.7 if it's done right. But that's just like, I can haul things, I can get things done, anything can fit in the bed, we can move things. So like, I need that. That's my muscle, right? Secondly, I want a muscle car. I already got that one, so we're check on that one. And I think the muscle car, I want that to be interchangeable. I like newer ones. I like old classic muscle cars. I like American made, and I also like overseas. So I think that category has room to grow. And why would I put a box on that? For sure. And then the last one is I want a Jeep. I would say that one, I'm still not particular. Like, cool, I could have the fancy bells and whistles with all the accessories and all that, but like, I don't know, man. You gave me like a Jeep Wrangler from the 80s that's an old stick and has no doors and windows and stuff. And I'd honestly still be happy due to the fact that like the Jeep would be my mountain climbing video. Like, I got the one that gets the job done. I got the one that makes me feel real nice inside. And then I got the one where I can like explore and go anywhere, right? So it covers all 3 of my bases completely across the board. So those are my 3 favorite cars, and not per se them specifically or a specific year model or whatnot, but I want a good old pickup truck, you know, and all that great stuff, and I want a good muscle car as well as like a really good a good Jeep. Alrighty. So at this point, I have been talking for quite some time, whether it was about cars, movies, favorite color, favorite candy, you name it. And at this point, I think you got a little bit more of an insight of me, and that I'm winter and that I'm weird, and that's okay. And if you are weird in your own ways, keep doing it. I'm proud of you. Be who you are, and who you are is absolutely amazing just the way you are, as long as you're still a good person. And I guess you kind of pay your tax. We ain't gonna bring that up. But so we are gonna be closing out this week's Winter Wonders. I cannot wait to see y'all for the 7th episode. Make sure to stay tuned, and if so, please like, subscribe, follow, all that great stuff. And if you want something on a daily basis, because you know you miss me between these 2 weeks, I get it. It happens to the best of us. Definitely go to either TikTok, because supposedly it's not banned, or Instagram. They're both winter.realestate. Go check them out, and I promise you, I'm not saying it's going to be great, but it's not going to be bad. You'll be entertained. Are you not entertained? Something along that lines. Well, it was an absolute pleasure, and remember, stay warm, stay curious, and always look for your own wonders in your own life. I'll see you on the next one. Keep it real, guys. Bye. We did it. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. I love your energy.